Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky Sechira. I hope you're doing well. So in today's video, as we all know, the UK government planned to recruit a lot of healthcare workers to come to the UK a while ago. So a lot of people actually have been recruited into the UK and some are still trying their best to get here. But it seems like a lot of agencies are making a lot of money as a result of this, and people are getting here and they are struggling. People have sold their properties, people have sold their cars to come to UK and work for better life, and they realize that is not what they have signed up for. So if you want to know more about this, why not watch the video to the end. So welcome to the main video. If this is the first time you've come across my channel, you're very welcome, and thank you for clicking on my video as well. So during the week that just passed in the UK, there has been a lot of news headlines, especially Sky News, about people left destitute after coming to UK as skilled workers and finding out there is no job for them after they've spent loads of money. So the topic of today's video is care workers coming to UK to find no jobs, and how do you manage if you get to UK after spending money and you haven't got any job? How do you pay your bills? So let's get into the video. I just want to make it clear, not all agencies are scamming people. Not all agencies are taking advantage of people. There are some good agencies out there. So if you're planning to relocate to UK as a care worker, caregiver, senior carer, care assistant, please be careful. Do your homework. I personally don't know any particular agency that recruits to the UK, so I can't help. However, look at the reviews on Google. If you've got an agency that is recruiting you, type the name of that agency into Google and find the review, see what other people are saying about that agency, and that will guide you. Recently I saw on a Facebook reel where some care workers were actually chasing after their employer to give their money back to them because they brought them here and they cannot find, or they are not giving them jobs and they are struggling. So my advice to you is, please do not sell your property wherever you are in the world, be it Africa, India, or wherever, or Pakistan, or wherever in the world, to say you want to move to UK. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into before you make that decision, because you don't want to get here and do not find what you think you are going to get. It is good to travel, it is good to experience life in other countries, but you should do it the right way. Anyway, so the recent Sky News report I was talking about, I've made my notes, so please bear with me, where they interviewed some care workers who arrived to the UK from one of our African countries, and it says that they are going to food banks to get food. Food bank is like a place where somebody has set up a charitable organization, I would say, where people send their leftover food, not cooked food, or people donate, not leftover, people donate the food to them to give out to the poor or people who are struggling to find food. And it says that people are actually visiting, so care workers who are coming to the UK are visiting food banks. Some are sleeping rough because they cannot feed themselves, and you don't want to find yourself in such a situation. A lot of agencies, as I said in the beginning, are taking advantage of desperate people who want a way to get into the UK, and some are actually reported charging between £8,000 to £12,000 to give people certificate of sponsorship in order to apply for jobs to come and work in the UK. And even myself, who is sitting here, I can't get that amount of money to give to someone. You know, how do you get £8,000 or 10,000 or even up to 12 to 15,000 pounds to pay someone to come to the UK, you know. And then when they arrive to the UK, there is no job for them. And if you don't have a job in the UK, ask yourself, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to feed yourself? And if you have children and you decide to come with your children, how do you look after them? This is the reality. I have heard similar stories from other people who have told me that some agencies have recruited them, they've come here and they cannot find jobs, and some are having to search for, you know, other jobs. Unfortunately, the type of visa that care workers or senior carers or healthcare assistants have, or like nurses, the type of visa you have to come to UK does not allow you to apply for public funds such as benefits or things like that. So you cannot get any benefit if you come on a health and care worker visa, which covers all the groups of people I have talked to. So if you cannot apply for public funds, how do you manage? If you have friends or family, they might be able to help you for 1 or 2 times, but after that, in this country, I realize people become very fed up with others and they don't want to help because they're also struggling themselves. So health and care worker visa also just allows you to work for the particular agency or organization that offers you the COS or health and social care system. So let's say you have come and you can't find a job within the health and social care system. You can't go and be doing cleaning or any other thing. And if you have to apply for another job as well, then in the health and care sector, the organization or employer should be able to give you a new COS, because the COS you have entitles you to work with a particular organization. And I think you can do up to about 20 hours extra with another one, but it should be within a care sector. So the issue is, if you get here and your agency or recruiter that brought you here or employer is not giving you a job, you cannot work for another employer. That new employer that you're looking for would need to give you COS. As I said, people are living in the UK and are trying actually to get an employer to give them COS, and they can't even find one because they are preferring, you know, UK-based staff. Yes, some of them are still giving, you know, COS to internationally recruited people who are here, but still majority of them are not willing to give, or some of them have actually lost their sponsorship license because of what has been going on. So people are struggling in the UK. So one thing I want to say is to nurses who are overseas, who are thinking of relocating to the UK as care assistants, I don't think it's a good idea. That is my own personal opinion. It's up to you and your reason for coming. I would not encourage you to sell anything or borrow money to come here and come as a care worker. You pay an agency, you get here, you can't find a job. I would not. I would rather, if you're a trained nurse or qualified nurse, wherever you are, and you want to come to the UK, the care route is not the best. Try as much as possible. I know writing the NMC to meet the NMC requirement, which is the English requirement, OET or IELTS, people are finding it difficult. I know there have been changes with the NMC English requirement. Look at it, work hard. If you write and you fail, write it again. People have done that and in the end they got it. I'm saying this because it is much easier, less costly, because as a nurse you don't have to pay money to anybody to be recruited into the UK. As a nurse, all you need to do the registration with NMC from back home, start the process, do your English, do your CBT, and when you get your decision letter from the NMC, to find a job or proceed to do your OSCE, you can easily find a job. Yeah, it's not as easy, but it's easier to find a job as a nurse to the UK, or you can actually apply for a visitor's visa if you're able to prepare for your OSCE back home. It is difficult to prepare back home without the necessary documentation, but some people actually are able to book the test, and if you have money, you can come to the UK. There are a lot of OSCE preparatory centers in the UK where you still have to pay them in order to go through the 1 week or 2 weeks preparation before you write the OSCE. So that is a possibility. So I would rather, as nurses, you come, and if you want to think about coming through as educational route as well as a nurse, to come and do either top-up degree or MSc nursing with NMC registration, which allows you straight to register as a nurse. If you're coming to do your master's in nursing and you think you will get a job as a nurse, you would only get a job as a nurse if you come and do the MSc nursing with NMC registration, or basically pre-registration master's in nursing. However, if you just come and do any form of master's nursing related, it will not allow you to register with the NMC. So my advice is, if you're a registered nurse, just go through the process and come as a nurse. Because if you're coming through education, you need to have the money to pay your fees, because it's expensive for international nurses, international student. It can cost about 16,000 per annum to do your course. Where do you get that from? If you have that money, fine, that's okay. But if you don't have it, bear in mind when you get here, you need to join the bus, you need how to travel to uni, you need to know how to feed yourself, you need to know how to pay for your bills. Because another thing to bear in mind is that cost of living has gone really, really high, and so it is difficult to pay your bills as a student, and you only allow 20 hours, and it can be difficult to even find the jobs. You can find some jobs, but it's becoming a bit hard these days. So please be careful. I hope this video has been helpful. I just feel I should put this information out there. Take care of yourselves, and if you have any questions, if anything out there I have said you want to ask about, feel free to reach out through the comment section. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. All right then, bye-bye.